Okay, Jeff, say hello to the neighborhood.
Hello to the neighborhood.
Okay, let's see if I can make you even louder. Say it again, Jeff.
How's
Jeff?
this? Am I a little louder now?
Trying to make you as loud as possible because we're trying to also record everything here.
You're like the only one who wants to do that. Most people want to turn me down.
Jeff Goodman, man. Jeff has been a friend since before I was doing this Facebook program, before it was a radio program, before it was a glint in my eye. Jeff Goodman was a theater friend of mine and someone that he used to appear weekly on TV with Charlie Gross doing the theater review program Two on the Aisle. That program continues with Charlie Gross and our mutual friends Leslie Hoban Blake. But Jeff and I stay friends, and
I'm only hearing like half the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Really? Uh-oh. I don't know what I really don't know what I can do about that. Let's see.
Well, keep going and I'll go, what? Oh,
what? I think that's as loud as I can make you.
Okay, I'll scream.
Scream for us, Jess. Give us a big scream.
Ah!
There you go. Well, I hope you can hear, folks at home. I hope you can hear my old friend Jeff. And one of the cool things is when the radio show, Dave's Gone By, was in Babylon, New York, Jeff used to co-host with me for about 2 or 3 years. And we used to drive out late on Sunday nights and do the show at like 11 o'clock at night. We were supposed to go off the air at midnight, but if the next program didn't come in, which was supposed to be gospel music all night, and half the time nobody showed up. So essentially it was left to us to end the show whenever and lock up and leave. And of course, me being me, I wanted to be on the air all night. And you, who had worked all day, you would be falling asleep at 12:30.
Yeah, probably.
Do you remember those days fondly, Jeff?
I do. Even Elbow slept to Stony Brook.
Well, that was a different show. We also tried doing a show on WUSB in Stony Brook, New York. And that was, because that's North Shore, Long Island. That was an incredible pain in the ass to get to. And we tried doing another show. What?
I said it was.
It was. And we were on there for a few months. And that was fun. We did a show called Little Big Time.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Yeah. And it was fun, but I wasn't really very happy there. And yeah, the less said about that, the better. But we did Dave's Gone By for a while, and I think we had a pretty fun time doing that. What was your best memory of doing Dave's Gone By out on Long Island?
Oh, Dave's Gone By?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe snowstorms and stuff like that.
You mean having to drive through and then drive back at 2 in the morning? Jeff, you awake?
Oh, yeah, I am. You just go away every couple of seconds.
Oh, I wonder, is there like a delay also? It's hard for me to tell.
No, there's like a gap in what I hear.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe I'll talk a little bit slower.
Actually,
as if that's possible.
New Year's Eve there.
Oh, and we used to love that. That's right. We did our New Year's specials at the radio station. I remember one time we tried to do it big, where you had a friend who had a catering business, and they brought in all this Italian food, and we had 3 people there eating it. It was like 2 people showed up, and they grabbed half a plate of food, and that was it. That was fun.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I liked it.
Oh, I know. I had a fabulous time back in the day doing this show. And then Joyce and I moved away. We moved to Colorado and left you here on Long Island. And then the continuing saga, the adventures of Jeff Goodman. Because when last we left you, you were cleaning up your home. You're getting your house in order to try and sell it so that you could finally, after all these years, move to Las Vegas, where you have a home waiting for you.
Correct.
Okay, so last we talked to you, that was still the plan. You were getting the house ready to sell.
It was. It was almost. It was kind of ironic because the house was very cluttered. I learned in recent years I'm very OCD, and I was kind of a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some medication for my OCD, and the house was cleaning up. It was great. Half the stuff was done with the house.
Uh-huh.
I put in a new kitchen, and it was like
Well, we have to explain. We have to also tell people when Jeff says he was hoarding and the house was kind of a mess, it really was. I tried to help you clean up a little bit at one point, and I just would go into rooms and I'd be like, oh yeah, as
No,
David Venable would say, oh, Mary.
It's not quite as bad as an episode of Hoarders, but it was really bad.
It was bad. And there was a point also when you had part of your living room, I think it was, where the roof wasn't completed, and you could actually see through the roof to the sky.
No.
Yes, I remember this.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Let's make a difference between roof and ceiling.
Okay.
Because my living room had a second floor above it.
Oh, so I was looking up into the second floor?
What had happened,
yeah.
I'd taken down the sheetrock on the ceiling to put in lights, the cam lights, the overhead lights.
Yeah.
I took that down, and there was just no sheetrock on the ceiling for a while.
To me, it's sort of, maybe because it was daytime and you had lights on upstairs. I just thought
those are called skylights, David.
All right.
A good part of the house.
Somehow, I don't know why I thought that it was literally open to the sky. It was not. Okay.
Never time I was living in a house that had no roof.
All right. So here's the deal. This is where you were at. You were finally you were taking medication that you needed to get over this hoarding thing, and you were really cleaning the place up, and you put in a brand new kitchen in the house, getting it ready to sell.
Floors down. Yeah. I had every piece of sheetrock in place.
Mm-hmm.
It was all painted. The living room was clear. I mean, I don't even think you've seen it. You saw it when it was totally clean and clear.
No, I'm sure it's beautiful. Or sure it was beautiful. Yeah.
A house that was really a cluttered mess had been clean, so it went from being a fire hazard to being almost great. You know.
Okay, so this is where things were just a couple of weeks ago. And then the other really great thing about Jeff Goodman is, I don't know if you ever saw him. Well, no, because we've been doing this show via Facebook on video for only a year or so. And when Jeff was on radio with us, it was merely radio. You never actually got to see him unless you looked at old YouTube clips of him on Two on the Aisle. Well, Jeff had for many, many, many years a weight issue. You were clinically obese, right?
Not obese. I was morbidly obese.
Morbidly.
I was very, very close to 500 pounds.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said. Very close to what?
500 pounds.
I thought you were just over 400, but you were close to 500 pounds.
No. At one point, I was well over 450.
Oh, wow. And it affected everything. It affected the way you walked, the way you could move, how you could breathe. You had sleep apnea.
The walking was, you also have to remember, I am an older gentleman, as I like to call myself, and I had arthritis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I have kind of severe arthritis, which affected my hip, and that caused my walking problem for the past 5 years. Now, being almost 500 pounds did not help anything.
No, certainly not. Absolutely. I mean, it being, as you said, morbidly obese hurts everything. So here's the deal.
Yeah.
Jeff, aside from getting medication to help with his hoarding problem, really, finally, no crazy diets, no ridiculous things. Just how did you do? I mean, what did you do?
Oh, I decided that I didn't decide. My doctor told me, he just asked me, do you want to live to see 65? And I said, I think so. And he said, you have to have an operation and have gastric bypass surgery.
But here's the deal. Don't they do that only if you promise to get on a proper eating I mean, they can give anybody bypass surgery if they go back to their habits.
They don't give anyone bypass surgery. It happens to be what I thought was what I thought was the easy way out is really exceptionally hard.
Mm.
You have to go through a year of pre-op planning. You have to get weighed every month. You have to go to, 1,000 doctors. It's so many, I can't tell you.
Wow.
You have to have a psychological consult to see if you can do it. They want to make sure that you're the right candidate for the surgery, because you don't just do the surgery on a whim, because it's really messing up your interior. You have to figure out what are your eating habits. Why did you get so heavy? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people pretty much find out that we have an eating disorder, which causes us to overeat, and we don't think about what we eat. Everyone eats in a different way, but there's always a different reason for overeating. So we eat a lot, and we're just kind of addicted to food. It's just like a drug addiction. You have to get it under control. And before they give you the surgery, they have to see that you can qualify for it. So you see cardiologists, you see pulmonologists.
But the thing is, you spent a few years trying and going on diets, and you had an eating plan for a while.
It's called your life. You try doing that.
Yeah, but
I would on diets. I could lose 100, 150 pounds, and then I'd stop and gain it all back.
Yeah,
because you just go back to your old bad habits.
So now you don't, and you can't. And you said how you have now lost, since your big weight. How many pounds have you lost?
Well, I did get down before the surgery, because you go on a liquid diet before the surgery and everything like that. So before the operation, my weight was 433 pounds.
432?
33.
33. Yeah. And then, so wait. Before the operation, that was your weight?
That was my weight the day of the operation.
Wow, I would figure you have to lose more than that just to be allowed to go through the operation, but okay.
No, it should be under 5 pounds.
And now...
I had to go on to... You have to go on...
Wait, Jeff, I'm losing you. You got to talk more into the phone and louder and clearer.
Okay, I'm trying to... It's as loud as I can yell.
That's better. That's better. So after the operation...
But before the operation, you have to go on a liquid diet for 2 weeks.
Ugh.
And you have to go on, But in my case, being as lucky as I am, I was scheduled for a March operation. And you're fortunate because you weren't here last March, but it kept snowing. And because it kept snowing, there were things that pushed my operation back.
And you had to keep on a liquid diet all that time?
For 4 weeks.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I lost a lot of weight. I was down to 433.
Okay.
And since the operation, and you have to stay on a different, it's not a diet, it's just the way you eat now, or the way I eat now, because my whole anatomy has changed. And right now, I am down over 180 pounds. So I'm just slightly, I think I didn't weigh myself this morning yet, but I was, I believe, 251 yesterday.
Man, I've said this. I mean, no one is expecting you to be like, 170 something pounds and stay and be a svelte person. But if you can keep yourself like under 250 for the rest of your life, the difference that makes.
Oh, that's going to happen. That's not, yeah.
I mean, but compare it to where you were at being nearly 500 pounds. If you can just, having lost half your weight at that point, and keep it off, and keep it healthy. Nobody's saying you have to be 180, but if you can get down to maybe like 230, let's say.
Well, my goal is actually to get to about 210 pounds right now.
How high? Yeah.
My first goal is to be 217 and a half.
Wow. Okay. If you can do that, man. And the whole point, even now, because
when people know why 217 and a half, David?
Why 217 and a half? Because
at 217 and a half, I can go around saying, I'm not half the man I used to be.
What you were yesterday, yeah. True. That would literally be half a. No, because you were heavier. You were heavier than before the operation. That was just your weight during the operation day. So you're already almost at half weight of
Well,
what you
that's
were.
why the operation day 433 and 217 is half of that.
Half of that. Here's the other deal, though.
Actually, 216 and a half. Sorry.
But, the whole idea is to be healthier. And you've already noticed. I mean, when Jeff would walk down the street, when he'd sit in a theater seat or go on an airplane, you know what it is to see a morbidly obese person say, oh, God, don't sit next to me. Oh, people give you looks, or they don't look at you, or they avoid you. And now you sort of like blend in. You're now a normal looking person. How does that feel?
No, I'm not. I'm still very, still highly overweight.
Yeah.
But I'm not this gigantic. People that I used to fly a lot, and when I fly, people would look. I'd come down the aisle, and people, I just know they were thinking, "Oh, please God, don't let him sit next to me."
Right.
Yeah. They'd all fear that I'd point to the seat and go, "I'm in that seat next to them."
Yeah. Although, to be fair and to be honest, no, when you're sitting in a plane seat and you have a seat next to you, you don't want anybody sitting next to you. I mean, even if you were 100 pounds and walking down the aisle, you'd still be like, oh, no.
Right.
Somewhere else.
But I've gotten kicked off planes before.
Oh, wow.
People have complained, and well, it was like really, the worst was one person. I was on my way back from Thailand, and I had to switch planes in L.A. or San Francisco or something like that. And someone said, "Oh, I can't sit next to this person," and then it was I took up, I would overhang my space basically, and he had me kicked off the plane.
Wow. I hope you got that person's name and you send them a horrible Christmas card every year.
No, I just, I hope that he, I hope one day he has a problem with something that people don't accept either. But it was, it was bad because I used to tell people, look, if I'm bothering you, just tell me. If I sleep and I'm leaning towards you and it's bothering you, tell me, because I understood that. But he just wasn't, I don't know what he was looking for. I think he was looking for a free flight or something. But all he did is manage to get me kicked off the flight. But it was fine. I got on the next flight, but,
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you don't mind waiting in airports. You love flying. I still despise it. But now that I bring my computer and, a smartphone, waiting for airlines is not a big deal for me. Not well, it used to be.
I like exploring the airport. That was another problem with being so heavy. It was like, oh my God, because a lot of times I couldn't walk, so I had to get the wheelchair. And I'll tell you, the worst one, not the worst, the silliest thing was going into Narita Airport in Japan, because they have little 100-pound girls wheeling the wheelchairs. And it's like, or ladies, excuse me.
You know what that is? That's literally Pink Lady and Jeff.
Yeah.
If you remember that TV show, it's like, oh, they're come sit in chair, and they wheel you around and sing. Oh, that's
so she didn't sing, but I'll never forget. I would use my cane as an oar and help them. Because they say, oh, they're very polite, and they want you to sit down, and parts of the airport are uphill. But pushing, 450 plus of Jeff around Narita Airport.
All right.
Confident.
Now, Jeff, we don't have that much time, and we need to get to part 2 of the story, though, because there's more to this than all the great news, all this wonderful thing. Like, you had the bariatric surgery, you lost 180 pounds, you're at, a good 251 weight right now, you're feeling better, you're healthy, and this allowed you getting that weight down to do the surgery that you needed, not the bariatric stuff, but
right. I had to get a hip replacement surgery.
Right, and you did.
So I was very thrilled. My doctor, I would go back to my doctor, my orthopedist, And my orthopedist said, oh, no, you have to lose more weight, because they want to make sure I was still going to lose the weight, because they don't want to operate when you're really that heavy either. It's very dangerous. And it's bad for the hip, because you could dislocate by having too much weight on your new hip, dislocates it. Yeah. So he told me, he said, you have to wait till you get, he said, at 290, we'll talk about it. At 275, we'll do the operation.
Okay.
So I went back at 290, and he says, okay, and they scheduled me, and I got my hip surgery scheduled for December 12th, and I was all excited about it, and I just couldn't wait to get rid of that hip and get a new hip in. So I check into the hospital on December 12th. I get my surgery, and of course you're in a little pain, you know, after the surgery.
Sure. And the surgery went well, thank God?
It went really well. Everything was great. And then I get a phone call on the night of on December 16th, that 3 days later, my friend calls me and goes, Jeff, your house isn't there. And I go, what? It turns out my house caught fire on the night of the 15th, 3 days after my hip surgery.
Well, not just caught fire, but the whole upstairs, it literally, this was on Long Island News apparently, the house burned down.
Yeah, it's completely gone. There's very little roof. It's a complete tear down. I found out.
And did they figure out it's not arson? Do they know what might have happened?
I don't know. They never said anything, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to worry about it because I can't turn back time, and it's just.
If I could turn back time.
The only thing that kills me is everything is gone, including all my wonderful Broadway collections and all my photographs. And, I had pictures of me with a lot of people who are now alive and dead, that I don't have because
And they're gone.
When I was a youth, I would stand by. And even when I was a critic, I just was a fan of Broadway. So I would stand by the stage doors and I would get people to, hold my little camera and take pictures of me with whoever came out, get all my playbill signed, and it was great. But I lost all that stuff, which just, I lost probably 1,000 Broadway CDs. I mean,
oh man.
I'm telling you, when you think about it.
Although that's the one easiest thing because all that stuff is going to be on iTunes. For $10 a month to replace that. That's nothing. But even if you lost Broadway record albums and CDs, but the playbills, not so replaceable. The photographs.
No, it's all replaceable. The playbills are replaceable. The CDs are replaceable. But it's a fortune that I won't be able to spend.
Well, wait a minute. Before I let you go, you do that insurance company thing that you explained of the flippy thing. I found that so fascinating.
What's that?
What the insurance company pays for, what it considers part of the house, and what it considers.
Yeah. Well, there are 4 different parts of your homeowner's insurance. And I suggest everyone go and check their homeowner's insurance. It's very important. Luckily, I had a great agent, and I'm with a great company. Can I say the company's name, or is that advertising?
No. You advertise away, yeah.
No, I have State Farm, and they've been very, very kind to me, and they've been very good to me.
Good.
And I'm hoping that, insurance will pay for,
Well, if you lost 1,000 CDs,
what?
If you lost 1,000 Broadway CDs, isn't that worth about $4,000?
Isn't that what?
Let's say you lost 1,000 compact discs, right?
Right.
And let's say you could sell those used on eBay or Amazon for $3 or $4 a piece. Don't you put in a claim?
That's what you could sell them for. It's what you have to buy them for.
Well, then they're worth about $13 a piece.
Right.
So can't you claim that and get a check from?
Yes, but you have to understand there are things called limits. But let me explain to you the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you get, when you have insurance, and I have, State Farm has been great, there are 4 different categories in your insurance. You have the structure, which is rebuilding the structure. You have the contents, which is the stuff in your house. You have, I always forget what this other one is, but it's like, it's cleanup and all, you know, it's just after the fire, the devastation after the fire, the tear down, all that nonsense. Forget what they call that. And then the fourth thing is called additional living expenses, which is what I'm getting now, which is where State Farm was terrific. Because I guess my broker was fantastic, and I had, it seems like unlimited additional living expenses, which pays for, they put you up, well, after I got out of the hospital and rehab, they put me in a hotel, and then they had to take me around to find a place to live, because my house it was devastated, and I'm going to live in this, I got a rental house for at least a year.
Okay.
They guaranteed the house for a year.
And we're not talking about a crappy, so wait, are you in a house or an apartment?
I'm living in a house.
You're in a house, but you don't have a mortgage. You're renting this house. Can we say for how much? I mean, it's extraordinary the amount that insurance is paying.
It's over $4,000 a month, which I can't. I'm shocked that they pay.
Yeah,
I really am. But
can you imagine renting a house for $4,000 a month?
If your policy is good, which mine was,
yeah,
you get coverage up to and including the size of your house. And my house was much larger than this. I had 3 smaller sized bedrooms, and I had 6 or 7, depending on what you want to call bedrooms, large bedrooms in my house.
So
I needed them
to match, and what isn't even equivalent, but to get something even smaller, you're paying $4,000. Wow.
This house is much smaller than my house, but I never used half my house, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But you just have to say, this is what I want. I mean, they started showing me 1-bedroom apartments, and I went, oh no.
Yeah.
And of course, I have a dog, so I have to have accommodations for the dog.
No, wait a minute. Where was the
part of the insurance that you wanted me to tell you about is the difference between content and structure.
This is cute, yeah.
And the way it was explained to me is that if you take your house and you turn it upside down and shake, anything that fell out was content. Anything that stayed in is structure. So things like kitchen cabinets are part of your structure. And your dishwasher is structure. But your washer and dryer are content.
Right. So if you turn the house over and it falls down, that's content. Yeah.
So it's a weird thing with the difference between structure and content.
Well, the last question I want to ask, Jeff, is you said you have a dog, right? You've had a dog for a while.
Yes.
You were in the hospital. Where was the dog? How come it wasn't, thank God, burned up in the fire?
Well, because I put in a wonderful doggy door. So he just said, oh, it's getting a little hot in here. I'm leaving.
Smart dog.
Yeah, he was a hot dog.
Oh, very cool. Well, Jeff, obviously it's a horrible story that you lost your house, but thank God State Farm's been good to you.
And to the thing about your content.
Yeah.
The thing is, a lot of people, and I know I did, grossly underestimated my content. So you only have you can only go to the limit of what your contents are, and even though the limit is a couple $100,000, you have no idea what you have to replace and how expensive it is. All your furniture, all your appliances, or most of the appliances that are not considered structure.
I mean, yeah, imagine, you replace, let's say, a bed that you've slept on for 10 years, and the bed isn't really worth anything, but you have to buy a new bed, suddenly you're looking at $1,200, so and that's one expense,
One bed.
What?
I had many, and then you forget things like sheets, you forget things like your kitchen silver, your tableware, and your eating utensils, and a blender, and all these little itty bitty things add up to thousands.
But isn't it
$100,000? Yeah.
So isn't it, Jeff, that you just get receipts for what you buy, and as long as you don't go over a certain max?
Well, just so you know, when I had an adjuster just take a cursory walk through the house.
Yeah.
He said your contents is about $500,000.
Well, I guess that was kind of good to hear. So you have up to $500,000 to spend.
But my coverage is only a couple $100,000.
Oh, okay. So don't be buying that solid gold faucet.
And most people do have. They don't insure that because the content. I don't know. I forgot exactly what it was, but I think the contents portion of the home, because it's not just fire, but it's theft and all that.
Yeah.
And no one's going to steal your house. So the contents portion of the house is the most expensive part of your insurance premium. And
now people, at least where we live, suddenly we're getting flood coverage, which is making everything much more expensive. So you got to do flood and earthquake. You're
in the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah, but you never know. That's the that's the thing. You never know. Anyway, Jeff, I know that it has been great talking to you, and I'm glad. I mean, let's face it, the house thing is horrible, but everything else is great.
I felt that everyone kept telling me, "Oh, I hope 2019 is better." I said, I don't know how it could be better than 2018 because just getting my body back into shape and being physically much better is the best thing I could have done. The house is a setback. The house.
Did you say the house is a sex act?
No, it's a setback.
Oh, excuse me, a setback. Yeah, and that's all it is, man. And thank God you've got houses. You got a place to go in Vegas when you're ready.
Yeah,
you have a place to live.
As long as you have insurance. I mean, I so strongly encourage people to look at their homeowners insurance because I was lucky. My broker kept up with the times. I hadn't looked at it in 20 years. I just paid the premiums.
Well, see, you learn something on this program. We're not just here for your entertainment, folks. Look at your insurance. That's our message of the day from my old and good friend, Jeff Goodman. Jeff, I want to wish you continued health. I want you to get down to that 217 or at least 230. I know you can do it.
216 and a half.
216 and a half. Get her down to just under that halfway point. So that you're halfway there. And and we'll talk to you soon. And I hope to get you physically on the program in the weeks ahead, so people can actually take a look at you.
I still have pictures of my phone of myself.
Oh, good.
At higher weight.
First thing, you know what? First thing you need to do is send those pictures to yours, print them, email them, so that you have them. At least the stuff on your phone you can save and have forever.
That's the other thing. By the way.
Yeah.
If you want your listeners to learn one other thing.
Sure.
Get a fireproof safe for very important documents because I have to now replace every single document.
Oh, yeah. I have to say my folks are smart about that. They've had a bank vault safe.
Yeah.
And they keep all that kind of stuff in a bank, literally. Yeah.
But you wouldn't believe, I just got a new car. Oh, by the way, if your car gets damaged in a fire, it's a whole different claim, as I found out.
Well,
everything's a new claim.
So Jeff, I'm going to let you go, but I'm Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Healthy New Year to you.
This is my year of change and flexibility.
There you go. Well, yeah. And I wish you absolutely, absolutely the best. Thank you, man. Have a great one.
Okay, thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jeff Goodman, ladies and gentlemen. What a story, huh? Well, all this great stuff happening, and then yeah.